Bengi, who have I got? Who's feeling great?
I would times the whole number by the denominator.
Okay, good. So 1 times 2 is 2. And then what else do I have to do?
Then I would add it to the numerator.
Good. So what does that mixed number become?
3/2.
Excellent. Okay, so we land up with this as our first step. How can I write this 5 as a fraction? What can I put over it, like at the bottom?
You would say 5/1.
Excellent. Okay, beautiful. Okay, Yolanda, I think I saw that you had unmuted yourself. Can you tell me what I can do in my next step here? No? Oh, yeah.
We can cross simplify.
Beautiful. Okay, so what can I cross simplify?
We can check 3 how it goes to 5.
And can 3 go into 5?
It goes once.
So if it was a 6, then it could, but I can't put 3 into 5. What could I do with these two though? What number could go into both of those numbers?
2.
Good. So 2 can go into itself once and 2 can go into 4 2 times. Good. Okay. And what about these two? Who can help me out there? What can I do if I've got a 5 at the top and a 5 at the bottom? What's going to happen?
5 goes once to 5.
Good. Good. So we have a 1 and we have a 1. So what we land up with is 3/1 times 2/1 times 1/1. And 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 1 is 6. So we just have 6/1, which is just 6. If you're at 6/1, then that's also great. Who managed to get that fraction right? Let me know in the comments. Tell me if you got it right, if you got it almost right, if you were quite close, if you made a silly mistake. Let me know how this question went. Tell me how it went. So find your chat box and let me know if it went really well or if it went really badly.
So when you scroll down, you should find your chat box.
Okay, guys, I need to know that you're all able to get to this chat, so make a plan, try and get to the bottom of where your chat is. Great, thank you, Mklengi.
Well done.
Write out how this test, well, not how this fraction went. Did it go well? Did it go bad? If you feel embarrassed, you can send me a direct message. That's okay. I just want to know how this went for you guys. And if it went bad, that's also fine. That's why we practice these together. Keep the messages coming in, guys. So the chat is our easiest way to communicate with each other. Alwand is nice and to cause, oh, that's okay. That's okay. We just keep on trying. Oh, do I have a hand up? Nope. Okay. All right, we're going to keep on trying to get these chats coming in, but while that's happening, nice, Pumi, well done. While that's going on, I want everyone to make sure that they've tried this second question over here. So what we've got is 8 minus 2 1/5 plus 1 1/2. The first thing that we're wanting to do, I'm not going to tell you everything. I'm just going to help you with the first step over here. We're going to put that over 1. And so our first step is we want to change these two fractions and make them improper fractions. So that is your very first step. And if you think you can change those into improper fractions, let us know so you can help us and talk us through how to do that. Huh? Oh, no. Thought I had a volunteer there for a second.
I was gonna try volunteer.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness, I'm so excited. Volunteer for me. Tell me what to do.
We have a volunteer, finally.
I love it.
So you would have to do the brackets first.
Okay.
The brackets, and then you'd have to put it into an improper fraction. So you'd say 2 times 5, and then you'd leave the denominator with the
Good.
5, and then you get 11 on top, and then you
Beautiful.
do the same with the other one, and then you have to find a common denominator for both of them.
Okay. What's that going to be?
It'll be 10.
Good. Good. Okay. Keep on going. Next step.
Yeah, sorry, I'm also writing it down now.
Oh, no, don't worry. No rush. If you need time, you just let me know.
Okay. Okay, so my answer, I got 22. Oh, you've already done it. Oopsie.
It's okay. Keep on telling me what. So what would I do from here?
And then from here, you can simplify it.
Okay. So what's
well,
going to happen inside that bracket? What's that bracket going to become?
So I think, okay, 27. Maybe this is where I get a little bit confused.
No, it's okay. Do you need some help?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we have to work, because of BODMAS, we have to work with what's in that bracket first, right? So all we do is we say, what's 22 plus 15? And that's going to give me 37 over 10. So that's my next step. And then I'm going to have to get another common denominator. Okay, so I need to get a common denominator now with these two. What would that common denominator be? Awandes, I think I saw your hand there for a second.
It's 10.
Good, it's 10. So I need to multiply that by 10. I need to multiply that by 10. So now I'm going to have 80 minus 37 over 10. And what does that simplify down to?
43 over 10.
Nice. And now, because we're in high school, we're allowed to leave it there. We don't have to change it to a mixed number. We can leave it solidly as an improper. Nice work. Okay, so we know that our Wandy's got that one right, which is awesome. Thank you for all of the help along the way. Who else managed to get this fraction right? Let's put these in steps. So who got up to step 1? Who got up to step 2? Who got up to step 3? And then who got all the way up to step 4? So 1 means you were able to change. Why are you saying surprisingly? You should be so proud of yourself. That's awesome. So 1 is saying we were able to get it into improper fractions. 2, we were able to get a common denominator. 3, we were able to add those fractions. And 4, we were able to get to our final answer. Where were we at? Let me know. If it didn't go well, that's also okay. Don't panic. Practice makes perfect. Wenika, I thought that I saw you join as Wenika. Why did your name change?
No worries, Venica. Thank you.
Okay, cool. All right, so we are going to leave fractions there and we are going to move into financial maths. Who has done simple interest or compound interest in class? You may have done it last year. Who has done simple or compound interest in class? Last year. Okay, cool. Has anyone else done it last year or this year? Kumi, did you do it last year?
Monica says last year. Sonia last year.
Lengi last year. Okay, good. Good, good, good.
No.
I'm hoping that this means that this is going to go really well. Oh, you moved to fractions this week. That's awesome, because hopefully now that we've done a bit of fractions, they'll be nice and fresh in your brain. Okay, well, if all of these people did it last year, do I have anyone who thinks that they can tell me what the formula is for simple interest? Do I have any brave soul? You may not have learned it if you learned it in grade 8. Daneo?
I haven't, like my class teacher, we're not there yet.
Okay. So, but have you done it last year?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you only work it with fractions, not with a formula?
Yeah, only with fractions.
Okay, that's okay. So we're going to learn this formula today, and this formula is going to stay with you all the way to matric. It is a very, very easy one. Oh my gosh, guys, there's answers coming in and they are correct. I'm so excited. Yes, guys, awesome. That is definitely our formula for simple interest. So we're going to talk about it. Those of you who are like, what is happening? Don't panic. We will go through them all step by step. So A is equal to P1 plus I times N. And we can also write that I is just IN because it's, remember, it means that they are being multiplied when they are together. Okay, so Pumi, I'm going to pick on you a little bit here because I see your name is right there under my eyes. Can you tell me, you can choose any one of the letters, what one of the letters stands for, what it means in this formula? And I don't mind which one you pick. A, P, I, or N. Yeah, it's definitely simple interest. Sakani, can you give me one of the letters?
Ma'am, A is amount.
Okay, yes. So we can say amounts. It is actually, its proper name is accumulated. But sometimes in grade 8, we teach it as accounts because it's amount or account because it's easier to remember. But we call it accumulated because it's like money with interest. And so if you accumulate something, you're getting more of it. Sakani, do you want to tell me another one?
Ma'am, is P principal?
Yes, absolutely. P is principal. It's actually, and it's weird, it's spelled the same way that we have a principal of a school, but principal is basically just our start amount of money. So it's the money with no interest. Okay. 1 is just the number 1, so nothing fancy with 1. And then what do we think I is going to stand for? What
Rate
is
of interest.
Yes, beautiful. That is our interest rate. Excellent. And our interest rate, we can either work with it as a decimal, or we can work with it as a fraction, or we can work with it as a percentage. So we're going to talk about all 3 of those today. And then our last one is N. What's N? Yes, beautiful, time period. Good. time period. And in grade 9 and 10, our time period is always in years, so we don't need to panic. Now, for anyone who hasn't seen this formula before, please can you write it down on a piece of paper near you or take a screenshot of this because we're going to be using it for the rest of the lesson. So make sure you have it and you can see what everything's going on. And I'm just going to go through what all of these mean again while you're doing that. Okay. So first one, accumulated. So what I've written here, it means money with interest. Now that's a funny word, interest. Does anyone know what interest actually is? What is interest? Who thinks that they can tell me something about interest? Doesn't have to be a definition. Anything you know about interest, I'd love to know. Yeah.
it is when like you borrow money from someone, and then that when you return the money, it's going to be triple the amount or double the amount.
Good. Excellent. That was such a wonderful explanation. So interest is something that gets added on. So it creates more. So like if you take out a loan from someone, it's a set amount of money. Let's say I took out a loan of 1,000 Rand, but I'll end up having to pay back 1,500 Rand. That's what I have to pay back. Then the interest would have been 500 Rand because it's all the extra I would have paid. Okay, so interest is something that we have to add on to an amount of money. Principal, it sounds fancy, but it really is just the start amount of money. So in this case, that over there would be our principal. It's what we're starting with. Our accumulated would be that over there. Our interest rate is always going to be given to us as a percentage. So it'll say like 10% or 12% or 16%. And time period in grade 9 will be given to you in years. Okay. Does anyone need to sit on the screen any longer? Just let me know. You can use an emoji. Okay, no problem.
Okay, Tafanswa, yeah.
We did this in class today, and my teacher gave us the formula of SI equals P times R times T. So is there any difference between what you put and what my teacher gave us?
Can you tell me the formula that she said again?
SI equals P times R times T.
P times R times T. Okay, and what did she say that your SI was?
I don't know, she just gave us the formula.
I think that she may be just looking at the interest rate there.
Yeah, when they look at the simple interest alone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it's a different formula. What that's looking at. So and let me just write it on the board in case anyone else's teachers has also spoken about this in class, and then you don't need to feel confused. SI equals P times R times T. What this is saying is that's your simple interest. Okay, and then your P is still your principal amount. Your R is what we've written here as an I, and then your N is your T over there. And so you'll see that it looks a little bit different to mine because we're not multiplying. There isn't a bracket involved. And so all this would be working out is that money there. It would only be working out the actual interest. It wouldn't be working out this final accumulated amount. So we can use that formula, and then if we wanted to know what our end value is, we would have to add it. So we would have to say, if I wanted to know what my A is, if I'm using this orange formula, I'd need to say P plus SI. So we'd have to kind of do a second step. Okay, thanks for asking. Sorry if I got carried away there, I got excited. Okay, let's try and have a look at some questions with these dudes. Okay, so I'm going to kind of walk you through this one quite slowly so that you're all happy with how to do it, and then I'm going to let you try one by yourselves. So Temba borrows 7,000 Rand from a bank to build a new wall around his yard and house. The bank charges him a 12% simple interest per year. Calculate how much he will pay on his loan over 4 years. Now, I'm going to teach you a method that is a good thing to keep on going with you all the way up as you move up to matric, and I call it the grocery list. So the first thing we want to do is we want to figure out our important information. So Themba borrows 7,000 Rand. Okay. The bank charges 12% simple interest per year, and we want to know over 4 years. So what we do is we write our grocery list down the side. And I call it the pain list. Okay, because it's all of the letters that we care about in simple interest. So we've got P, A, I, N. Principal, accumulated, interest rate, N. So if principal is the amount of money that we start with, then in this case, because we're borrowing 7,000 Rand, that's going to be my principal amount. We want to know how much he will pay on the loan after the 4 years. And so we don't know what I is. We don't know what A is. I is 12%. So we're going to write it as a percentage, or you could write it as a fraction, or you could write it as a decimal. So your different teachers will ask you to do it in different ways. And N is our time period. So in this case, it's 4 years. Once we've written our pay and grocery list, we get to just stick it into the equation. And so it makes it nice and easy. So we know that our equation is A equals P, 1 plus I N. And so A is equal to 7,000, 1 plus 12%. I'm going to write it as a decimal times 4. And you're going to put that straight into your calculator exactly like that. And you are going to tell me what answer you get. So grab your calculators, put that whole line in. Okay, we've got some answers coming in. Okay, beautiful. So if we just chuck that into our calculator, we're going to get a total of 10,360. Now, if you use that other formula that you'd learned in class today, let's just talk about what you would have to do, just so that you know and you don't stress. We would say SI is equal to P times R times T, which would be our 7,000 times our 0,12 times our 4. And we should get 3,360. So that is the simple interest that we would have added. And then we would say that our A is our original amount, so 7,000 plus 3,360, which gives us 10,360. Okay. All right, so that is our first example. Is there anything that anyone doesn't understand or would like clarification on, like to ask any questions about? This is your time. So quietness mean we're good? Okay, cool. This one's all you then. There's only one new thing here. Is the one always there? The one is always there. So this formula is a set formula. So that one will always be there. So Fatima, don't worry. I'm going to let you try the second one, but I promise I will help you go through it afterwards. So do your best with it, and then we'll kind of work through together. So I'll try and read it, and there'll be a couple of things that we need to talk about. First of all, the new thing here is that this says per annum. And that's just a fancy way of saying per year. So when you see that in a question, annum is just a fancy way of saying year. The first thing you're needing to do is you're going to write out your pain grocery list, and then you're going to try and put it into the formula. So just give it your best go. See if you can figure out what P, A, I, and N is, which one we're still wanting to figure out, and see if you can find our end answer. And then we're going to talk about this sort of step by step together. Does anyone need more time? Okay. All right, let's do this step by step. So Claire invested 5,000 Rand. What is that? Is that P, A, I, or N? Tell me what letter that is.
It is P, ma'am.
It is P. Well done. Okay,
Ah.
so 5,000 Rand is our P. Beautiful. Okay, next thing, for 6 years, is that A, I, or N?
N.
Yes, 6 years is N. Beautiful. Okay, at 6.25% per annum, A or I? I, yes.
Well done,
Okay,
Sonia.
so you could write this as 6.25%, or you could write it as 6.25 over 100, or you could write it as 0.0625, whichever one you feel comfortable with. Okay, and that means that A is the thing that we are looking for. Then we just get to chuck that into our calculator. So A is equal to 5,000, 1 plus 6.25% times 6, close brackets, in our calculator, exactly like that. Don't forget the percentage sign if you're writing it this way. And we get a total of 6,875. Songe, I'm not sure where that number came from. I think you may have multiplied somewhere instead of adding. Just make sure that what you put on your calculator looks exactly like this. Oh, Wendy's, well done. Des, sorry. Let's have a look. Okay, you think you multiplied. Okay, try and put it into the calculator again like that and just make sure you get to the right answer. Okay, those of you who were feeling confused on the first one, are you feeling better? Is this one making a bit more sense? Are you still feeling confused? Let me know. Oh, feeling good. Good, good, good. Okay.
Awesome, Alwandis.
Okay, let me know, guys, if you're needing help with stuff. That is what I'm here for. Okay, let's try another one. Good, Mhlengi. Okay. It looks like it's a scarier one. Now yours gave you, okay, A stands for accumulated, Joanne. So like the end amount. Yours gave you 187,500. Okay, can you just for a second, Daneo, can you just double check that on your calculator, everything looks identical to what that looks like. Make sure that this is a 1. Make sure that that is a plus and not a times. And then make sure that's times. Oh, you know what I think you may have done? You may not have made that a percentage.
Yeah, that's most likely.
So if you're worried about like forgetting the percentage, rather write it as 6.25 over 100. Those are very common mistakes. Okay, cool. Let's try another one. Miss Nsomi buys furniture for 12,500 Rand at 13% simple interest. Now, again, it's a little bit different, but it means the same thing. PA means per annum, which means per year, over 3 years. First question, how much will he pay altogether? Second question, how much interest will he have paid? Okay, we're going to do the same thing. You're going to do your pain grocery list, PAIN. And while this may seem like, oh, why am I going through all this effort now? I can see what everything is. I promise when we get to matric financial maths, and there's a whole bunch of different letters, getting into the habit of writing a grocery list will do you good things. And your formula. Okay, give it your best go. When you have answers, I would love it if you could put your answers in the chat box for me. So as soon as you figure it out, put your answers in the chat for me. Okay, we've got our first answer coming in. Ooh. Just going to give you a couple more minutes.
Guys, please make sure you don't forget the units. It's money, so it needs to be in rands.
Yes, most definitely we need that R. Okay, let's start filling this in. Furniture is bought for 12,500 Rand. That is our initial amount, which means it is our principal amount. So 12,500 Rand. Oh, sorry, Tandeka, do you have a question? Or do you need more time?
Tandega, are you still there? You can talk.
Yes, I can talk.
Okay, yeah. Shoot.
Okay. Do you have a question, Tandeka?
I need more time.
Oh, not a problem at all.
Okay.
I think you meant to write calculator. Because if a calendar is giving different answers, I'd be quite worried. But
Well,
but
it's
okay.
a calendar. You will have a different day.
That's okay. I think Danero we'll check how you're putting it into your calculator. Okay.
I think we got to go now. I'm done.
Okay, thanks, Andeka. Okay, so A is what we are looking for. We have P, 13% is our interest rate. So now I'm going to write this as 13 over 100 because I don't want to make a mistake, or I'm going to write it as 0.13, and it is over 3 years, which means my N is 3. So I'm going to say A is equal to 12,500 bracket 1 plus 13 over 100 times 3. And we're going to put that into our calculator. Exactly like that. And we get the beautiful answer of 17,375. So big well done to all of you who got it right. That is amazing. That is part A. And then part B is saying, well, how much interest will he have paid? And interest is just the extra amount. So we're going to say, well, what is 17,375 minus 12,500? And that's going to give us our interest. And that gives us 4,875 Rand. That is interest. So that's how much extra he lands up paying for his furniture over the 3 years. Okay. Cool. Nice job. Well done, everyone. I feel like we're coming far. Okay, little brain break for you. Yeah? Do you need some time, Tiana?
It's fine.
Are you sure? I don't mind going back.
I just wanted to say, you see rate of the sample interest then inside P times R times T.
Yes.
Definitely, yes.
To get this one here.
Yes. I got the interest.
Totally fine to do it that way.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely great. Okay, cool. Let's see. Let's see who manages to figure this one out. My hint to you is you have to look at the relationship between the two numbers, and something about the relationship will give you that number, and something about the relationship will give you that number. That's my hint.
That's a good one. I love it. Well, that's some spiritual awakening.
Yeah. So Kylie, you can do it. I promise. I promise. Once you figure it out, you're gonna be like, oh, that's so easy.
Thank you, ma'am, for having hope in me.
We do have hope in you, trust me.
Our one is it's very, very close. But wrong.
Oh, can I try? I'm not sure if I'm going to get it right.
Yes, please try.
So, so these are two different, I'm not sure if they're oh, never mind. Sorry. I'm so confused.
That's okay.
Like different numbers, or like, I just want to understand a bit more.
Yeah. So yeah, so something, there's a relationship between these two. You do something to them and that will give you this number, and then you do something to them and that will give you that number. Awandi is absolutely right though. Awandi snuck in there. Even with a silly mistake of 7 minus 3 is 5, he landed up getting there in the end with 410, which is absolutely right. Well done. Well, that was.
So
I thought I was gonna sneak up there and get you all. But just so that for those of you who didn't know how to do this, if we took the first number, so 4, and we minus 2, so 4 minus 2, that gives us 2. 8 minus 1 gives us 7. 6 minus 5 gives us 1. And so 7 minus 3 will give us our 4. And then for the second number, we add them. So 4 plus 2 is 6. 8 plus 1 is 9. 6 plus 5 is 11. And 7 plus 3 is 10. So our final answer is 410. Magic.
You guys better admit that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one, man.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm gonna try and get harder ones each week for you. I feel like I can stretch your brains a little bit. Clearly this wasn't hard enough because Awandi's got it in like 10 seconds. So I need to do something a little bit harder. Okay, we're gonna quickly talk about hire purchase. And it seems like, oh, we can't do a new topic. We only have 15 minutes left, but it's the same thing. It's also simple interest. Okay. Hire purchase. Does anyone know anything about hire purchase? It's something that we all use a lot. Can anyone tell me anything about it? It's not really a word we use in real life, though. Hire purchase is basically if we can't afford something straight away, and so we pay for it monthly. So like if any of you are on cell phone contracts, for example, you don't pay a big amount for your cell phone right in the beginning. You pay that cell phone off over lots and lots of months. Okay. If you wanted to buy a TV for your home and you can't afford to pay for the TV, you could pay the TV off in smaller amounts over time. Okay. So it's when we can't afford like the full thing in the beginning. And so we pay, oh, this pen, I'm worried some of you won't be able to see it. So we pay off over time. Now, if we're paying the shop off slowly over time, they have to benefit. Otherwise, it's not in their best interest to go with this deal. And so the way that a shop benefits is they charge you a high interest rate. Okay, so even though they're not getting their full amount of money right in the beginning, and we're paying it off slowly over time, it benefits the shop because they're giving us a high interest rate. So in the end, the shop lands up making more money. So yes, absolutely. It's much cheaper to pay off right like in once off, like if you can afford to pay something off right in the beginning, but lots of us can't afford to do that. And so that's why we land up paying off something over time. A bigger version of this is if you think about how you would pay off cars or your homes, except that it uses a different interest rate. But hire purchase is just paying something off slowly over time. And if a hire purchase question comes up in any of your tests or exams, we have to know that hire purchase always uses simple interest. They're not necessarily going to tell that to us in the question. That's something we have to know. Okay. So let's have a look at this question and see if we can work it off slowly together. A student buys a laptop computer that is priced at 13,500 Rand. So you can see that that would be a really hard amount of money to pay off in one go. So that's why hire purchase sometimes is necessary. He pays a deposit of 20% and interest at 15% per annum on the balance. Now, all these are words we will talk about, so don't panic. If he pays off the loan in 12 monthly payments, then, first of all, first question, A, how much is the deposit? Who thinks they can talk me through, or put an answer in the chat, what my deposit would be? Zoom out like that, maybe, Sherwood, does that help? Tell me where it's best for you. How would I work out a deposit? Does anyone know what a deposit even is? What's a deposit? No takers? Okay, I see an amount of money is coming in. Tiana?
I think a deposit is like not the full amount, say half the amount or a quarter of the amount that you're supposed to pay. But yeah, I think it's a quarter of the amount of everything, but you only take a quarter amount and you paid it towards what you want to buy.
Good, that's excellent. That's perfect. So basically we have this full amount that we owe, right? And then sometimes we can pay off a little bit of a deposit. So that deposit is something we pay off, and the bigger our deposit is, the better for us because we don't pay interest on a deposit. So if we can put lots of money down for a deposit, then that's a good thing. And then what's left, if I take that full amount and I minus the deposit, I'm left with the balance. And the balance is what I still owe. Okay, so some of the answers that were coming in here, if I'm wanting the deposit, this is just a percentage question. I'm wanting to know, so let me write it like this. The deposit is equal to 20% of, and remember of is times in maths. 13,500. And so you can just write it in your calculator like that. 20% times 13,500, which gives you a total of, and remember it's money, 2,700 Rand. Okay, so that is our deposit. That's the first one. Hello.
How are you?
Tiana, I'm just going to mute you there for a second, okay? I thought she was knocking me. I thought she was trying to say hello.
Same here.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so our deposit is 20% of the 13.5, which is 2,700 Rand. Cool. Done. Next, what is the student's total repayment, including interest? So this is where it gets a little bit nasty. So now we have to first figure out, when we're in a hire purchase, we now need to figure out what our balance is. So remember, that is what we still owe. Okay? And our balance is going to be our 13,500 Rand minus the deposit that we've already paid. And that's where that number was coming in that a bunch of you got, which was 10,800 Rand. Okay, if you don't know how to write percent in your calculator, so it depends on your different versions of your calculator, but just write the number 20 and then push the shift button and then push the button that's your brackets, and then above it there should be a little percentage sign. That should get you the percent sign, or you could write it as 20 over 100, or you could write it as 0.20. Okay. Okay, so that's our balance, but that's not the full part of what the question's asking. They're wanting to know what the student's total repayment is going to be, including interest. So now we have to start getting fancy. Now we have to do our paying list. So P-A-I-N. P is now what our balance is. So that's our 10,800 Rand. A, we don't know. What's I? You can tell me what I is. Come on. I know you know. You can write it in the chat if you don't feel like saying it.
15%.
Yes, beautiful, 15%. Okay, and now N, if he's paying this off over 12 months, how many years is 12 months?
1.
1 year. Beautiful. Okay, so A is equal to 10,800. 1 plus 0.15 times 1. And you put that into your calculator. And we get a total of 12,420 Rand. Okay. Cool. Is that my final answer? Does anyone think that they can tell me if that's final? Is that what the question's asking? So the question says, what is the student's total repayments, including interest? Is that the total amount that my student is? I absolutely add the deposit. Well done. So because they've said the total amount that the student has paid, if I don't also include the deposit, then I'm not including everything that this person has paid. So the total payment is going to be 12,420 Rand plus our initial deposit. And we get a wonderful total of 15,120 Rand. So this student lands up paying almost 2,000 Rand more for this laptop, even though the loan is only over 1 year, which is a relatively short time for a loan. But that's how shops make their money. Okay. All right. We've also answered D. D is a repeat question, so we can get rid of D. That's nice. Okay, so our last question here is just C. How much is each payment? So how many payments does the student make? How many payments does the student make? Read the question carefully. Who thinks they can tell me? How many payments are made? Come on, it's like staring at you. It's in the second line of the question. 12. Thank you, Mflengi. So the student pays off in 12 monthly payments. Okay. So if I'm wanting to know how much he has to pay each month, I'm going to say, well, it's going to be 10,800 Rand, but he's paying it off over 12 months. And we can just chuck that into our calculator like that. And our student is going to have to pay 900 Rand per month. Okay. We're gonna call it a night there. We're gonna end off at that point. Can anyone, how are we feeling with this work at the moment? How are you feeling with simple interest in general? We will do another hire purchase when I see you on Thursday. But how do we feel about simple interest right now? Good, bad, medium, brilliant, somewhere in between.
Personally, I think I need a bit more practice with it.
Okay, a little bit more practice. That's all right. A little bit of practice is definitely a doable thing. Okay, guys, that is where we are going to call it an evening. I will see you all on Thursday. I hope you have a lovely, lovely, lovely night. And yeah, happy.
Also, ma'am, I do need some practice in this topic.
Yes. What about this topic?
Like, I do need some little bit practice, man.
Don't worry, we will do more of it on Thursday, and then it will also be in your quiz on Thursday. Okay.
Okay.
All right. See you guys then.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Bye, ma'am.